Hi, I'm Gracie, and this is what happens when you watch one too many Quentin Reviews videos. So, I care too much about a pair of 30-year-olds. You probably know Ali and AJ from this viral TikTok, but they have been around a long ass time. They were signed to Hollywood Records music label as young teens. Ali, being the older sister by 2 years, and AJ, being the younger sister, were presented to preteen audiences like they could have been really any sisters. They liked fashion and dancing and acting. They had breakout hits like Rush and Potential Breakup Song. But I'm here to tell you how Allison Renee and Amanda Joy Mashaka went from writing songs Crisscross Applesauce to singing at the White House to a 10-year hiatus that ends with TikTok virality and a massive comeback. So get a drink and get cozy because this is the entire story of Ali and AJ, and it does not begin like you might expect.
Now we fell out of the future. Never knew in history just where he would land. Fell out of the future. He's a 22nd century man. Fell out of the future. He's a 22nd century man.
Welcome to 2004, people, in which 14-year-old Ali Mashaka is performing as Keely in Phil of the Future. Keely is the best friend and love interest to main character Phil Duffy. The show is about Phil, a 23rd century man, and his family getting into hijinks related to their futuristic technology and modern day social faux pas. Keely was Ali's first acting role and the beginning of the pair's 10-year relationship with the multimedia company.
Hi, I'm Allison Mashaka, and you're watching Disney Channel.
So Allie's on Disney, and in an early episode, Keely gets to perform for their school talent show. Keely has terrible stage fright and can only sing in front of Phil, so the actual solution of the episode is that Phil shrinks himself down and holds on to her microphone as a little cockroach-sized Phil. It's actually kind of a wild episode. Actually, the entire show is kind of wild. They have a caveman as a pet, and there's a B plot where the little sister of Phil doesn't want to make a meatloaf, so instead of just making a meatloaf, she uses 23rd century technology and ends up making a car-sized meatloaf. And I only watched 6 episodes of this show, and it's a 6 out of 10 show, but it's classic early 2006. The outfits are 2006 outfits, and it's kind of a crazy show, actually. I don't think you should watch it, but I watched it. So Phil of the Future is notable because it would be the first time that the world would ever hear an Ali and AJ song. They actually asked Ali to sing on the show, and Ali said, "Hey, me and my sister write music. Could I sing a song that me and my sister wrote?" And the execs were like, "Yeah, hell yeah, sure." And the song Keely performs is actually called Protecting Me. And 2 years later, that would be on the pair's first album. However, I am getting a little ahead of myself.
There's a lot of girls out at home in their pajamas in their bedroom writing songs with their sisters. How does it go from there to where you are now?
I'm actually kind of tempted to drag out the tension, but now let's get into this shit.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Their gold-selling debut CD, Into the Rush, is quickly climbing Billboard's top 100 chart. Please welcome
Ali and AJ are proving they're here to stay.
In studio with us, Ali and AJ.
Disney Channel superstars.
Ali and AJ.
Ali and AJ.
They are huge, huger than huge.
That's right.
Hey, I'm Allie.
And I'm AJ.
Stick around, because we're going to take you on the ride.
Ali and AJ, as we know them today, started with the 14 and 12-year-old sisters singing with their guitars on the floor of Hollywood studios. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what song they sang. It could have been No One, it could have been Protecting Me, but whatever song it was, it convinced Disney execs that they had something great on their hands. The pair would release their first song the following year of 2005.
Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? How the music can free her whenever it starts.
Their cover of the Loving Spoonful's Do You Believe in Magic was released for Ally's upcoming Disney film Now You See It. Because it was produced by Disney, Ally and AJ benefited from the cross-promotion provided by Disney to quickly build a large fan base. This was huge for the young girls. Disney gave them one of the largest stages in the world. Their first album, Into the Rush, was released later that year in August, and for context, to date, in America, Into the Rush has sold more copies than every single one of their other albums. This album was huge, and Disney celebrated the girls' success. They gave them 3 Radio Disney Awards, which really don't mean anything, but they gave them tons of promotion, and they put their songs in films like Twitches. And I was 3 when Into the Rush came out, so I had yet to gain consciousness, but I remember Twitches. I really liked Twitches. Honestly, this album was huge. I don't love it, but songs like No One and Rush are still massively popular with modern fans. And Rush has actually kind of taken on its own life as a mantra in the LGBTQIA+ community. It has this line that says, "Don't let nobody tell you that your life is over. Be any color that you are." And it has a clear queer meaning. Like, I'm queer, it's pretty gay. Like, after the celebrated release of Into the Rush, the girls became staples of Disney and would open for bands like the Jonas Brothers, the Cheetah Girls, and the Hannah/Miley show that she did. However, if you were alive in the early 2000s, you wouldn't have only heard them on the radio. You may have also been able to see them in this classic Disney film.
It's the Disney Channel original movie, Cowbells, starring Philip the Future's Alison Machaca and in her DCOM debut, Amanda Machaca. Coming in March to Disney Channel.
Is Cowbells baby? AJ once called their characters.
Not the brightest bulbs, though.
No, agreed.
And they burned down their own kitchen.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a great summary of the entire film. Cowbells is about 2 young sisters, Taylor played by Ally and Courtney played by AJ, who have to save their father's dairy business when through nefarious means all of their money gets stolen. Cowbells came out in 2006 between their major album releases. The pair don't sing in it, but their song On the Ride is the theme song, so you'll technically hear it a couple times if you watch it. Also, there is a little jokey reference to them being really good singers, but the workers at the dairy farm are like, "No, we don't need you to sing." And then it literally just fades to black, and like that's the end of the scene, and they never bring that up again. Cowbells became one of the 2 things the girls are most known for today. I think this is because Cowbells played a lot on Disney, and we also have a lot of nostalgia for it. I have nostalgia for this film. I remember watching it. My sister remembers watching it. And I watched it recently, and it's a good movie. Like, there's definitely worse Disney coms, but it's like a 6.5 out of 10. It's not a lemonade mouth, but it's definitely they just kind of do AJ wrong in the film. I think it's because it was her first time on Disney. They're just kind of doing her wrong. Ally's actually said that they used to hate when people mentioned their time at Disney, and there's a lot of reasons for this. We'll definitely get to their split from Disney in about 4 years, but right now it's 2006. Twitter and Blu-ray have just been released, and some guy I have never heard of just won American Idol. But the most important thing that happened in 2006 was this song. It's pop rock, baby! Oh my gosh. I grew up in a real Christian household and didn't know what good music was until freshman year when my friend showed me Panic at the Disco and My Chemical Romance. So, like, shout out to Emily, I guess. You know, I don't know how to pay you back, but I have a electric kettle that's really nice. I use it all the time. Anyways, Chemicals React was released in August of 2006 for the deluxe version of Into the Rush. Thing is, Chemicals React, unlike the other songs on Rush, is really good. Chemicals React was the start of a new era for Ali and AJ. In 2007, the girls would continue acting in film and television, and they would also turn 18 and 16. With their change to pop rock, their public personas would also change. They would begin to dress with a little more edge. For example, Ali used to wear electrical tape around her wrist. This is totally true because she thought it looked cool. She's mentioned that a stylist suggested she did it, and Ali just kept doing it for a couple years after that, which is the most 16-year-old thing to do. You think something's cool, or someone tells you that you look cool, and so you just proceed to continue doing that thing, even if it's not cool anymore, because one time it was cool. It's not like I've experienced that. Insomniatic isn't notable because of Chemicals React. Insomniatic is notable for a whole different beast. Potential Breakup Song is the girls' biggest song to date. It was extremely popular even before it went viral in 2020, and it went platinum on an album that would sell 2 million records worldwide. The girls also knew they had a hit on their hands. Right after they produced it, they sat in their car and drove home and listened to it again and again and again. And AJ said that she must have annoyed the heck out of their bodyguard because they just kept looping it. However, I don't need to tell you how big this song is, so I'm actually going to do something completely different. Hi, welcome to the wall where I rank things. I know I've said a lot of controversial things, okay? I know that. I promise I'll stop. I promise. Just after this wall. Just let me rank all 12 songs on Insomniatic. Then I'll go back and I'll tell you about the future of Ali and AJ and how amazing they're doing. But for right now, let me get this off my heart, okay? So this ranking is a little tiny bit confusing. We've got kind of a top 6 and a bottom 6. I do have a number 1 favorite, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But you can kind of think it as a top 6, bottom 6. So we should start with the song that's most known off the album. We're going to start right here, right in the middle. Number 6, it's Potential Breakup Song. So I like Potential Breakup Song. I do. I really enjoy it. It's a great song, but it feels good to have it in the middle. Everything below Potential is worse than Potential, and then everything above Potential is better than Potential. And I'll listen to this song and I'll remember. I'll be like, oh, this song is better than I remember. When I was ranking this, I fully expected it to be kind of bottom 6 material, but it's actually pretty good. I understand why it came back, and when they perform it live, it's a riot. It's super fun. They have a fun time doing it. However, there's better songs. And if you've ever listened to the album all the way through, you'll know there's better songs. And we're not going to get to those yet. We're going to start bottom 6, and then we're going to go up to the top 5 because I think that's way more exciting. And we're going to start a little controversially with my number 7th song on Insomniatic, Bullseye. I like Bullseye. I like Bullseye so much that it's below Potential Breakup Song. The problem is the bridge. A lot of these bottom 6 songs, they have really great choruses, and then the bridge comes in and it's just it's not as good as the rest of the song, and it really drags it down. Bullseye's bridge makes no sense to me. I love the song, and then the bridge starts, and Ali is wait, you didn't ask for my number? You didn't ask for my number? I like the fact that you didn't ask that because you already have my number, huh? What? What are you saying, Ali? Ali, what does that mean? I like the fact that you didn't ask that because you already have my number, Ali. Girl, I don't understand what you're saying. And I feel dumb. I feel like this is a song that you wrote, I think you were 20. I'm 20. I should know what this is saying, but I don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. Number 8, we've got Closure. I like Closure. I like Closure a lot. I think the chorus was really good, but the song is just a little boring. It just a little boring. I think I think that it would have been better if they were able to curse. Like if Disney let them curse, I think it would have been a better song. I think a few of these songs Disney should have let them curse in, if I'm completely honest. But Closure should have been one they let the girls curse in. It would have made it way more spicy, it would have made it way more fun, and I just think it's a little repetitive, and that's all I'm saying about Closure. Number 9, Silence. I like Silence. I do like Silence. I know I've been saying that I like them, but I do like almost every song except this one. Silence it's kind of like old Ally and AJ, but with like violins. And I like old Ally and AJ, obviously, because I'm making this entire video on Ally and AJ. But it's a little slow, and I like ballads. One of the songs up here is like kind of more ballady and slow. But I think honestly the end where it fades off is kind of the best part of Silence. Not because the song is over, but because it's just kind of like lullaby rocking at the end of the song with the shh and the fade out. I think that's probably the best part of the song. But it just kind of feels like too much of old Ally and AJ, of Into the Rush, and not enough of pop rock. Number 10 is If I Could Have You Back. We're getting to the songs that I don't like, but I don't have anything against If I Could Have You Back. It does have a couple video game references, which I think is really funny because I know for a fact Ally and AJ do not play video games. I know that for a fact. And it's okay. The video game references, they don't ruin the song. The Mario dings and stuff like that, they don't ruin the song at all. But it definitely belongs in the bottom 3. And that's all I have to say about it. Number 11. Like it or leave it. I on my notes, which I've been looking at, it says, I wanted it to be higher, and then the bridge started and it went back down. Like I said, the bridges in some of these songs are not it. And it feels bad to have it so low, because I really like the song until the bridge. It's not very good there. Number 12, my least favorite song on Insomniatic. This might surprise a lot of people. It is It's Like Whoa. I do not like this song. I flat out don't like it. I don't like it. It's annoying. The girls don't even like it. Like, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. There's an interview where AJ says that she just doesn't like the song. And it's okay. They re-record it later in the timeline. They'll record it in 2021. However, the re-recorded version is better, but unfortunately, we are only talking about Insomniatic as it existed in 2009. And in 2009, Like Whoa is not a good song. They don't like the music video, they don't really like the song, and I actually have it hidden on my Spotify, so when I listen to the album, I don't have to skip it. I'm sorry to Like Whoa, but also, it's not a good song. And to our top 5. I'm excited for the top 5. I really like all these songs. I think they're all I think they're all really good songs. I think this album is a great album, except Like Whoa. But I'm excited for the top 5. Let's get right into this. Number 5, starting off strong, is Division. Come on, this song is so good. The only reason it's not number 4 is because they had to change a lyric. They had to change, all of your friends would be thinking that I would be pleading to you to get back together, when originally it was, I would be drinking to you. And Disney made them change that because they were underage, and they didn't want people to think that Ally and AJ drink alcohol. That's the only reason it's here. It's a really great song. If I was valedictorian, which I'm absolutely not, I would, in my speech, I would say, as Ally and AJ once said, congratulations, you've graduated, you finally earned your degree. And I'm not joking. If I had an opportunity to speak at graduation, I would absolutely say that. And then number 4, Chemicals React. You might notice Chemicals React is a little faded out. the expo marker I was using to write this decided right here was a really good time to die. Chemicals React, amazing song. It's a great song. What can I say that hasn't been said? They do, though, if you go back and listen to it, oh, they sound like literal children singing the song. Like, they sound so young. Chemicals React is great, though. I mean, in conclusion, it's a great song. I like it a lot. I definitely, I like the music video. I think it's a great time. It's just great. It's like the start of their Insomniatic era too. So it would definitely feel kind of wrong to honestly have it any lower. Number three, I'm Here. I really like I'm Here. I like I'm Here. It has some problems. It's not a perfect song. It's definitely not. But there's this video of them writing it. And I'm gonna put it in. So watch this video of them writing the song.
Something that's more than expected, you know?
You could. Ooh, that's I like that.
Something that's more than expected.
I like it. It's cool. It needs to do a little different. So.
And I think that's just a great moment. It's very sweet. It's very. They didn't love filming their like kind of reality show stuff that they did. They did a couple of little like MTV Come Into My Home kind of things, and they didn't love recording those. But I really love that they allowed us to see them writing. I mean, I'm Here. It makes the song. I always, whenever I listen to it, I like see them at the piano, like laughing and being frustrated because they can't think of how to do the pre-chorus. I think it's a very sweet song. It has a really special place in my heart. Number two, though. Number two. It's Flattery. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to tell you about something that doesn't matter. When the Jonas Brothers opened for Ally and AJ, they dated. AJ dated Joe Jonas. And that's so unimportant. And it always gets brought up because it's like, ooh, you dated one of the Jonas Brothers and they're super famous now. Isn't that exciting? And it's like, it's not really. I don't think they dated extremely long. Like, I don't know. But the song's great. The song is really good. I really like it. Flattery is one of the songs, though, that's like a little further down in the album. So when you're listening to it, like Division's the third song, and then Bullseye's like the second song. And I think Flattery's a little lower down. And it's a great little moment when I'm listening to the whole album to kind of sit through a little bit of the songs that I like less than Flattery. And then we get to Flattery, and then we get to I'm Here, and I'm like, yes, it's a great album again. My favorite song on Insomniatic is Insomniatic. This song is amazing live. This song is great on the album. This song is great. I don't know how big it was when it came out. Like, I don't. I'm just gonna be honest. I wasn't conscious enough to know. I don't remember. But this song is so good. I cannot believe people aren't talking more about Insomniatic. We talk too much about Potential Breakup Song. We talk too much about Like Whoa. We talk the right amount about Chemicals React. But no one is talking about Insomniatic. This song is so good. I'm not even joking. I was like shook when they performed it live. I was not expecting them to perform freaking Insomniatic. Like, freaking Insomniatic. It's so good. AJ stands out. AJ does an amazing job. And it's the best song on the album. People woke up for Potential Breakup Song. Insomniatic's been awake. It can't sleep. It can't sleep for you. But you're sleeping on it. So go listen to Insomniatic, okay? Not the album. Actually, listen to the album. But also listen to Insomniatic. Because it's really, really, really good. Whew. That was a lot. Isn't that a fun addition to the background? All right. Okay. Well, that was a fun break. I mean, think I get into the video here, honestly. Whew. I may as well finish, you know. I mean, there's some pretty exciting stuff coming. So let's keep going. I mean, getting back into the timeline, it's 2007. The girls have just released a super successful sophomore album. However, the problem with sophomore albums is that it's the second. And Ali's mentioned that they kind of had sophomore slump when writing Insomniatic, and that they were never completely happy with the album they'd written. Around this time, they felt like they were writing the music that they thought they were supposed to be writing, and maybe not the music that they truly wanted to write. They were also getting older and found themselves kind of frustrated with Disney and Hollywood Records. I mentioned that in their song The Division, they had to change a lyric from I'd be drinking to you to I'd be pleading to you. But that wasn't the only policing that Disney did over the young women. They have also said that they had very little control over their music videos and were often underestimated due to their age and gender. It was clear that Ali and AJ needed change, and change is coming.
Allison, Amanda, that's who we are as people. Ali and AJ, Mashaka, sure, that's who we are as actors. But when it comes to being a band, 78 Violet kind of represents our music and us as, individuals.
In 2009, the girls changed their band name from Ali and AJ to 78 Violet. And this name change signaled a big departure from Hollywood Records, a new sound, and a new start. There's a lot of reasons they chose 78 Violet. 78 Violet represented who the girls were when they were on the stage, and singing in unison created a third voice. 7 and 8 are also Ali and AJ's favorite number, respectively. They would also compare 78 for the atomic number of platinum, which is a strong, pure, and non-tarnishable metal. They also chose the color violet for both its femininity and spirituality. AJ said that it's a color that's always followed them around and watched over them. However, if I'm honest, I think there's more than that. This is like total speculation, but I think there's a lot more to 78 Violet than the girls have ever said. The sisters tend to be quite silent about their private lives. Ali says a lot of out-of-pocket things, but out-of-pocket doesn't mean it's particularly revealing. However, what's truly important is that 78 Violet had arrived, and the girls could finally release music they were proud of.
You only get, one shot. Right. Maybe two if you change your band name.
We're starting to get in the studio finally this year with David Kahn in New York. So excited that he's producing the record. We're really, really excited about the record. We'll release the full record early next year.
Honestly, it really depends on, getting a label and where that, kind of places everything.
You guys are the most patient fans. We love you.
We are still releasing music, we promise.
Yeah, we promise.
I know that it's been a long road that you guys have hung in there with us on, and
we're on that road too, so we're not going anywhere.
78 Violet wouldn't release new music until 2013, 5 years after the release of Insomniatic. In retrospect, they didn't mean to have such a long break, but at the height of their popularity, the two would kind of disappear. And now it was their job to stall. They would continually say, music is coming, while also knowing that there was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on that stopped them from being able to release the music that they really enjoyed and really loved. They had just left Hollywood Records in 2010 and signed to new music management Red Light. However, they were still unsigned to a music label. The 23 and 25-year-olds would have to fund, produce, and release all of their music. Red Light, as a management team, would aid in booking, marketing, and merchandise. However, they were kind of on their own, and that was scary for them. In 2013, 78 Violet would finally come back with a really good song called Hot House. Hot House performed well, or well enough, that Ali and AJ felt like they were safe to greenlight an album that would be coming out in 2013. They also would perform a lot of new songs in a concert, one being a really, really good song called Boy, and many others. Fans were excited for the future of 78 Violet and prepared to support the girls' new independence. It had been a long wait for fans, but 78 Violet was about to release their new studio album, Hothouse. In May of 2014, that album would release. However, it wasn't the girls that released it. Hothouse would be leaked online. I don't know how this happened, and I have no idea how it affected the girls. I imagine it was heartbreaking, as the pair would never officially release the album, and in 2015 they would change their names back to Ally and AJ. 78 Violet ended with a whimper. It began as their departure from Disney and ended with a fatal strike. They've mentioned that around this time they were feeling creatively stagnant, and I think this was the nail in the coffin. Ally and AJ would be gone from music for a long time after this, and the only song you can still listen to on streaming services is Hothouse. 78 Violet was over, and it would be years before fans would hear more music from the Mashaka sisters. 78 Violet was short-lived, but many of the songs of the era showed the amazing songwriting and performing talent that Ally and AJ have. Because of that, I am going to tell you about some of the vaulted 78 Violet songs that premiered but never released. Boy was performed by 78 Violet during a Billboard session in which the girls performed in their traditional floral kind of dresses that they wore a lot during the era. Boy is such an amazing song, though. Oh, it is so good. Ally has mentioned that if they were going to release any 78 Violet song, it would be Boy. And this hasn't happened, but they did officially release the Hothouse album in 2019 in a very small quantity on vinyl, which I'll talk more about later. However, there is a tiny cinch in the story that I have not mentioned. In 2010, 3 years before the release of Hothouse, in Aly Mashaka's short-lived show, Hellcats, you can hear the 78 Violet song, The Good, the Bad, the Boring. And let me explain why.
Hello, darling. Alice. I don't know, let's meet up later tonight and figure something out.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah? I'll text you, let you know where I'll be.
Oh, before I get to that though, would you mind looking at this? Why, hello there. I gotta move my chair. How's that look? Does that look nice? I am wearing my contacts today, but let's get into it. Okay, this is where it gets confusing. In 2010, the girls were planned to release an album. This album had The Good, the Bad, and the Boring on it, which is not the same as their 2013 album called Hothouse. Hothouse was created when they were independent artists, while The Good and the Bad and the Boring album was created when they were still at Hollywood Records. AJ has said this album didn't come out because of creative differences, so take that as whatever you think it means. The 2010 album had a similar sound to Insomniatic with pop-punk influences. However, when the pair left Hollywood Records, the entire 2010 album scrapped. How a song from that album ended up on an episode of Hellcats, I don't understand. I don't know what happened here. Disney, Hollywood Records, and Ally and AJ would have had to sign off on licensing to the CW, which makes no sense because, like I said, the song was never officially released. However, apparently the girls had sang it at least once because fans around the time thought the song was going to be called Sucker for a Lover, and then when it was released on the CW, it was actually called The Good, the Bad, and the Boring. I don't know what's going on here. I don't remember this. They don't talk about it. As far as I can tell, Ally and AJ have only talked about their 2010 album once in 2019 when they were directly asked about it. When asked about it, they said that they felt like they weren't fully behind the music and that they felt like they had outgrown their persona that Disney made them embody. Thing is, that's 2 scrapped albums, Hothouse and the 2010 album. Other musicians have unreleased music, but there's no way a musician has this much music just readily available on the internet. Ally and AJ have mentioned that they don't know where their 2010 album is, and they think it's just like sitting on a thumb drive in Hollywood Records. Girls, it's on YouTube, and it's really good. I've listened to it. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you you can listen to it if that's illegal, but it's super good. My favorite song is probably Magellan or Hole in the Earth because they're just so good. Ally and AJ have been asked about their time as 78 Violet, and they seem somewhat abhorrent to it. They said that in 2010 they weren't fully equipped to be independent. However, they are still quite fond of 78 Violet songs such as 54th Floor or 8 Hours. They've actually sang a snippet of Insane in an interview with Nancy Wilson, showing that they still remember and have fondness for the songs they wrote. Actually, here's a clip of them singing Insane.
I mean, part of me is like, we could
Insane. Remember that song?
Insane. That song is cool.
Yeah.
Really insane. Okay. Yes.
78 Violet is a perplexing era of the story of Ally and AJ. The mystery surrounding it is just as interesting to me as the girls themselves. They have mentioned that their acting careers wouldn't be where they are if they didn't take the break from music. I actually haven't talked much about their acting careers. However, in 2014, both sisters were main cast members in different television shows. Ally had been working for several years on iZombie, and AJ was part of the principal cast of Goldbergs. They were still furthering their careers, just not singing.
Ally and AJ is a better name than 78 Violet.
yeah, don't change your name if you're already like established.
So we've entered an interesting place in the story of Ally and AJ. Both sisters are currently working as main cast members on different shows, so there isn't really an Ally and AJ right now. So I think it's time that we take our second intermission. The first intermission we took to rank all the songs in Insomniatic, and the second intermission we're going to take is to talk about things that are related to Ally and AJ, but don't really fit into the story of Ally and AJ. Most of this stuff is just a long list of Ally and AJ facts that I thought of while writing this. It's mostly fun, weird, and facts that I don't even remember learning. So if you want to hear more about the story of Ally and AJ, just like fans in 2014, you're gonna have to wait a little longer. Okay, I've got my laptop here, which is actually always just a little bit off screen. And this might be a little frightening to you, and I'm actually going to clip my microphone to me. Oh no, see how that works, sure. So, like I said, this is just a big list of stuff. Somewhere along the way, they became queer icons. Yeah, Ally and AJ, I mentioned earlier that their song Rush has a queer meaning, but when they're younger, they didn't mean it to have that. When you're 13 and 15 and you're writing an album, you're not thinking about things like that. It is kind of funny though that I went to their concert and there was like, they said this one's for the gays, and I swear to God, like the half of the crowd at least screamed. Like they still have support from us. Oh, this is their nudes and their mother's nudes have leaked. Okay. So I honestly don't know if I should even include this because it's extremely personal and intimate to the girls. I have tried really hard to kind of avoid talking about their personal lives at this point. But this is why looking for Ally and AJ leaks on the internet can be kind of rough. I don't know. I feel like I've spent enough time on this, and we're gonna move on. They go to the LA Rin Fest each year. This is fun and cute. I've gone to the Renaissance Festival twice, and it's very fun. I love it every single time. Allie learned how to drive for Cowbells. They were so young when they started their careers, man. She mentioned that she actually learned how to drive stick for that because she drives the truck that's stick shift, and she has absolutely no idea how to do that now. Here's this clip from their charity fundraiser, Up All Night.
Some of this caused this uproar that like there was like weird like incestual shit between Allie and I, which is like, okay, heard that comment a million times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if I ever heard that directed to me and my sister, I would be beyond disgusted that someone even thought of it, and let alone decided to tell me about it. So, they were also children, like really young kids. They were, no. There's some crazy stuff that's been said about Allie and AJ, especially when AJ turned 18, or Allie turned 18, my apologies. And, yeah, people are weird. People are, technically our story could have began with Ben Savage's mother meeting the girls when they were in an acting workshop. Oh yeah, so AJ's talked about this on an episode of a really like okay podcast. Like, it's not great. And technically when they were living in Seattle, which they lived in when they were, I think they probably would have moved when they were 7 and 9, I'd say. And what happens is that Allie and AJ went to an acting workshop and they met Ben Savage's mom. Ben Savage is the actor from Boy Meets World, if you recognize his name. And she had a lot of interest in them. And later when they moved to LA, she became their agent, which is like super cute. They were very fortunate. They've honestly had a lot of luck. They are extremely talented, but they are also just like a little bit lucky. Acoustic Hearts of Winter. Yeah, they actually came out with a Christmas album, so it was Into the Rush, Acoustic Hearts of Winter, Insomniatic, the 2 unreleased albums, and then an album that's going to come later in the timeline. I haven't talked about Acoustic Hearts because it's a Christmas album, and I'm just going to be honest with you, I haven't listened to it. They wrote 3 original songs for the album, and it was released in September the same year they released Chemicals React. I don't really care about it. I'm sorry if it's really good. It's just a Christmas album. Happy holidays, though. I have just listened back to some of these clips, and I learned that my microphone is not picking up audio very well. So I'm sorry if you can hear me moving around right now, but we're gonna hold the microphone again. Catra, if you have never seen both of these shows, AJ's in both of them, so maybe that makes you more interested to watch them. If you have never seen Netflix's She-Ra and the Princesses of Power or Cartoon Network's Steven Universe, you are missing out. I've got Little Onion hanging out in the back. He's been there this whole time, just chilling back there. Like, look at the dude. I freaking love Steven Universe and I love She-Ra. Oh, those shows are so good. I actually watched She-Ra before I watched Steven Universe, and I didn't even know who AJ Mashaka was at the time when I first watched She-Ra. But once I knew who it was, I watched Steven Universe for the 8 whole episodes that AJ acts in it. And that show has probably like 100 episodes, and I watched it for 8% of that show just to hear Allie or AJ go and voice a character in it. Oh, I have also made Catra's little mask thing that goes like up here. Oh, I've never finished it, and so I should finish it. But I have like the silhouette of it made out of cardboard, and it's just like kind of brown colored. They made a movie together with Allie's future husband, Steven. It's called Weep Away for Now, WEEPAHWAY, and then For Now. And it's not that bad. It's, they've said that it's the only movie that's really captured their humor as sisters. And I did watch like 90% of it. And there is this one really loud transition into music that made me like laugh my ass off when I know that I shouldn't have. But it was good. Their media company is also called The Violet House. and they have an unaired pilot, and they own like a movie trilogy. So I don't think they're ever going to do anything with those properties, but I wonder what movie trilogy it is. Oh, in Weep Away for Now, they perform Boy, and it's like, oh, it's so good. Oh, they filmed it in the house that they lived together in for a while, and they wear really cute outfits. Aly and AJ are independent artists. Technically, that means they're an indie band. Yeah, walk up to someone and tell them that you listen to the indie band Aly and AJ. They're gonna love that. They are horse girls. Okay. I can't lie, I was a horse girl, okay? But when they were asked if they have secret talents, Aly was that she can draw, and AJ said that her secret talent isn't like riding a horse, but if she could every day, she'd go ride her horses, which is honestly, oh, this one's fun. I should make a Mike's Mike about Hellcats. That show, there's a lot of interesting stuff in that show. Yeah, they only made one season of Hellcats, and it's a lot of stuff happens in that show. 22 episodes, and it's I might make a video about it. I don't know. That would be AJ said that one time she couldn't get a Disney show no matter how much she tried. AJ isn't a bad actor at all. She actually was doing a lot of acting roles before Aly was in Phil of the Future. And AJ thought she had a super deep and raspy voice as a child, and she said that she used to hate her speaking voice. So I've like scrubbed over probably 85% of all the Aly and AJ content that exists, and I would say that AJ's voice is fine. I think it's just everyone's got that one thing they're self-conscious of, and for AJ it's her voice, which is, she's allowed to have that. Everyone's self-conscious of something. Aly and AJ were offered the roles of Hannah Montana and Lily Truscott, respectively, and they turned it down. I'm going to play the clip where Aly talks about this, and then I'll come back.
Yeah. You turned down doing Hannah Montana?
Yeah. It was, I at least know that I was the first because I was attached to a show that was already on the channel and was just ending. And then I think once I passed, they came back one more time and were like, are you sure? Because we're going to go on to the next person and offer it to another couple people. But it's interesting because that seems like a total lifetime ago. And I remember being so sure about saying no. Like, it wasn't even like there was even a question of like 5% wanting to do this. I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do a show about singing. I don't want to do a show where I play two people. I don't want to do a show where I'm singing, I'm a solo artist, but in my real life, I'm actually a duo with my sister. I think this is going to be insanely confusing for people.
Why do they always laugh when they say crisscross applesauce? And then it says conspiracy time. That is not a joke. This is exactly what my laptop says. There's a couple clips of them laughing after they say crisscross applesauce, and I genuinely cannot imagine or understand why someone would laugh at that word. But I'll play a couple clips here just so you have context.
Just sitting, crisscross applesauce, just performing.
It brings me back to Aly and I just writing songs in our rooms, crisscross applesauce, acoustic guitar. I know. She's gonna kill me for saying that one backstage. Why don't you say crisscross fucking applesauce? I don't know, because that's what it is.
Out-of-pocket things Aly has said. I mentioned this earlier. Aly says a lot of out-of-pocket stuff, and it's incredible. She is... AJ has said that Aly is probably the funniest person she knows, and I think Aly is very witty, and I'm gonna play some clips of her saying just the most out-of-pocket stuff ever, because it's genuinely iconic.
I think this was a $500,000 budget. We shot it in Maui.
By the way, the only reason why we shot in Maui was because people from Hollywood Records wanted to go and have a vacation for 3 days. They were like, maybe we could shoot it in Hawaii, and then we can budget it for the girls' album.
We don't have any confirmation on that. But I'm putting Like Whoa down here.
Ooh. We didn't.
Now, this is not because we don't love the song.
Like the song, even though we don't like it. But
what plans do you guys have for upcoming music? Because I already need more of it.
to get played on the f***ing radio.
Yeah, we want to get played on the radio.
That's really that's the main goal. I don't know what you have to do around here. Suck some or something.
Hello. Did you enjoy intermission? Did you skip through it? Did you watch the whole thing? So, getting back into things, it's 2016, and AJ comes up to her older sister and says, "It's time to make music again." The girls have mentioned, when did I start calling them the girls? AJ is 11 years older than me. The grown 26 and 28-year-old women were ready to enter music, and Allie said that she didn't feel like they quite reached their stride by the time they stopped, and together it was time to decide that they wanted to start music again. Guys, this song slaps. It is so good. Take Me is their first song in 10 years, and maybe it was worth the wait for just how amazing this song is. AJ said that she wrote it about being on a few dating apps and just like asking herself, when are these men gonna ask me out? The song is great. The music video is top tier. It's vampires. It's a little sexy. They're in hot tubs with sweaters. It's not their favorite music video, but there's something spiritual about it. Allie actually met her long-term boyfriend on this set, and just look at her. AJ, sweetie, what are you doing? Like you're popping off, honey. Like, oh, you look, this video. Ooh. Take Me was a great comeback, and it was well received by fans. Soon after Take Me, they'd released their new EP, 10 Years. And it had been a long 10 years for Allie and AJ fans, with roads of excitement and drought from the sisters, but finally, Allie and AJ had officially returned. Also, you might have noticed that I have said 10 years a couple times, which might be kind of confusing because they released Hot House in 2013, and it's currently 2017. Well, that's only 4 years, you might be saying. You know what? Allie and AJ don't acknowledge Hot House, so are taking it out of the timeline, ripping it out. It's no longer in there. I gave you this knowledge, and I am pulling it back out. Anyways, 10 Years is a great EP. My favorite song is Promises, and they perform it on TRL on MTV in really fly outfits. Fun little fact here, 10 Years is actually the title of a song that they produced and ended up cutting from the album. So technically, if anyone's able to get me that, like hypothetically, they could leak it to me, and like, I don't know how they do that, but like hypothetically, it's very possible. 10 Years was just the beginning of their return. In 2018, a year after the EP coming out, they would go on their Promises tour, because Promises is the best song, where they played a lot of old Allie and AJ tunes from pre-2009, but also a lot of new Allie and AJ tunes. Honestly, their 2018 set list might be my favorite because of a lot of old Allie and AJ tunes. They also played songs from a really short-lived band known as 78 Violet. The arrangement of Boy that they perform on the Promises tour is, to me, better than the one they performed on Billboard in 2013. Actually, I edit this video, so I'm just gonna like put a clip of them singing Boy here, because Boy on tour is like, their tour version is what made me fall in love with the song. Following 10 Years was their next EP, Sanctuary, in 2019. Sanctuary is good, but The best song on it is Church. I know I said I'd stop saying controversial things, but Church has the best music video and the best song. AJ said that they wanted to make the music video very voyeuristic, and honestly, the worst part of that music video is when they're naked on carpets. God, with every second of this video, my filter gets like smaller and smaller and smaller. The most important part of their Sanctuary era is that they decided to create their fan club, Sanctuary. So I honestly have no idea if other musicians have fan clubs like this, but you can kind of think of it like a Patreon. You get exclusive benefits for paying monthly or yearly, and since the girls are independent artists, it helps them fund their music for production and tours. This is also when they would release the limited edition vinyl of Hot House. Aly and AJ only gave it to people who signed up for Sanctuary in its first year. I am actually not signed up for Sanctuary, so I actually have no idea what's on there. Aly said it's a place where they post things they wouldn't necessarily put on social media, but members also get exclusive merch and discounts, and they also have video chats and Q&As with the girls. One of the current benefits that Sanctuary members get at meet and greets with the girls is they get to listen to a new song from their 2022 album, which is pretty awesome. I honestly don't think I will ever sign up for Sanctuary, but if I had a friend with it, I would definitely mooch off of them. Back on the topic, it's 2019 and the world was about to change. I think you already know, but in 2020, something really big happened.
It took too long, it took too long, it took too long for you to call back. And normally I would just forget that, except for the fact it was my birthday, my stupid birthday.
Potential breakup song went viral. So I don't actually know much about the moms in the original video, but I know for a fact that they were definitely wine drunk and definitely provided more to Aly and AJ than Disney ever have. The interesting thing about PBS going viral is that people cared a lot about the song, but not much about the women who were singing it. There was a lot of discourse about what the moms' shoes, phone cases, and kitchens looked like, but not a lot about the girls' music that they were making at the time. The sisters had been gone from music for 10 years, and the popularity of the actors Aly Mashaka and AJ Mashaka might have increased, but Aly and AJ had grown kind of obscure. Even with those obstacles, at 31 and 29, Aly and AJ were hopping on TikTok. Now, I wouldn't say that Aly and AJ understand TikTok. I don't understand TikTok, but they know it's a powerful marketing device. The sisters would begin making videos, performing on the platform, and would re-release PBS but explicit in 2020. Aly has said that they weren't particularly attached to Potential until 2020 when it went viral and they were able to re-record it with adult voices, as she said, and with new instrumentals. By the way, the re-recorded version is like so much better than the old version. I don't know if I can explain it, but I like it a lot more. If it was the explicit version we were ranking on this wall, it would be third. They would also use their rejuvenated popularity in PBS to market their third studio album in 14 years, which is called...
I can't even say the album title when I read it.
The touch of the beat gets you up, and then...
And it's titled, let me get this right.
Touch of the beat gets you up on your feet.
A touch of the beat gets you up on your feet.
And on your feet, and then into the sun.
A touch of the beat gets you up on your feet.
A touch of the beat gets you up on your feet, gets you out and then into the sun.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
There you go. Nailed it.
That was beautiful.
No, you nailed it.
A touch of the beat gets you up on your feet and then out and into the sun is their first studio album in 14 years. Their newest era began in late 2020 with the release of Slow Dancing, a song that AJ described as a COVID love song. Slow Dancing was followed by Listen the following year in early 2021. By the way, remember when I said Nancy Wilson? Well, she's from the band Heart, and they sing this song.
Ooh, Barracuda.
She plays some background instruments on Listen, and I haven't really mentioned it, but these girls have some really cool connections in both the acting industry and the music industry. The pair would release their third studio album in May of 2021. It was released and received positive reception for its Western California sound. Aly mentioned that it's been reviewed by publications who didn't take the girls seriously when they were working with Hollywood Records, and like I said, it's been reviewed really highly. The album has sold really well, and They went on their A Touch of the Beat tour in 2022, which went to 53 cities in America, and later this year they'll be doing a European leg. Aly and AJ have said that this album is just the start of what they want to keep doing, creating, and touring with, and they're ready to do that for years to come. After their A Touch of the Beat tour, the girls are, at this time, opening for Ben Platt on his Reverie tour. They have just performed at the See Here Now Festival in New Jersey, in which they did an amazing set. They've also performed 2 new songs from the new album, coming in probably 2023. One song called Blue Dress and another song called With Love From. Personally, I really like With Love From, and Blue Dress is about coming into a relationship, not caring about the baggage that they bring, and just loving them for who they are. They've also re-recorded Chemicals React and Like Whoa from Insomniatic. And look, I know I said I didn't like Whoa, but I like the re-recorded version. I'm just gonna be honest, it's actually really good. And that's it. On October 4th, 2022, the day that I'm filming this little wrap-up, that's the entire story, from kids with a breakout album, to teenagers with a hit single, to a name change and a hiatus that ended with a dramatic return. The sisters have been through 4 lifetimes of experiences, and I think that's what's so interesting about them. I discovered them in 2022 with their A Touch of the Beat Deluxe being suggested to me on Spotify, and I got a little obsessed. They began doing this at such a young age that they could have easily been taken advantage of, but they just never were. They've never had the child star curse, and they have never hated each other. Aly and AJ Michalka aren't perfect, and they haven't navigated their careers perfectly, but they are as normal as someone can get when they've lived a life like this. I have a sister, but oh shoot, I gotta go to class. I actually have to go to class right now. So I'm going to let AJ finish this out for me. Take care of yourself. I will see you again. And yeah, just AJ will finish this for me.
We just didn't get the jealousy thing. It sounds like bullshit. People can't believe it. It doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah, I'm very comfortable talking about it because, I mean, we talk about it a lot. You know, it's our business, it's our band, and everyone wants to know, how are you guys so close? How are you so close? We never really know how to answer. It's just like, well, if you were one of us, you'd get it.